Hello and welcome back to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. Now we'll start on the technical design. So technical design expect you to uh, basically have this 9 outcomes once you are done with your designing part of the technical part. So let's first understand this what exactly expected out of technical design and what it is. Technical design is set of design patterns which we will discuss and building blocks that you can use to abstract low and mid-level components of the software. So when we discuss about strategic design, so these are the like high level component you create it, and when you talk about tactical design, it goes to granular level of your software component and mid level component. Technical patterns are very hands on addressing programming code, so that integrate with or used in the programming code and deal with the classes, modules, etc. The purpose of the tactical design is to refine the results what you have defined as strategic pattern. Correct. Now you need to refine it, code it, and use it in your uh, software basically while writing the code. So that is what the fine tuning of the strategic tools what we have defined for a particular domain. That is what we would be doing as part of technical design. Typically software engineers are inclined towards the technical design. That's what I started when training session I told you. Correct. Like we are more focused on the like how should my class looks like, how should my object, what should be my methods and kind of thing. So that's where software engineers are more inclined towards the technical. Basically by default you are using the technical design pattern when if you don't know the domain driven design or something, so you directly start with the technical part and and you skip the this, and even that is not well designed until and unless you have a good very well defined strategic tools. Technical design tools are concerned with the implementation details, how you implement your software. Basically it generally takes care of the component inside the bounded context. So when you define your strategic tools, you come out with your bounded context. Now inside the bounded context you need to implement classes, objects, methods, etc. Correct. And this is what all you would implement inside this. So that is what that can be better done with the using the technical design patterns. So this includes your entities, factories, repositories. If you are coming from the, or if you have already developed software, so you would understand what is factories mean, what does repositories mean, what does entities mean, so which is you are already using. In contrary to strategic design, your technical design can change during the product development. Generally strategic design, once you discuss with your domain expert, it won't change it, not frequently. Basically okay, it still change but not that frequent. But your while development you can change the technical design and it can get improved or something, so that can happen. So this would change more frequent technical design, but strategic design does not change that frequently. It is about to fine tune your domain model design as part of strategic design. Whatever you have created, it follows the aggregate pattern. I'll come back what it means like aggregation when we'll discuss about, and it includes domain object, domain activities, domain abstraction. So this is what you can see here. So domain activities has these three components: commands, events, and queries, which we will cover in this session. And domain object is entities, value object, aggregate roots, and domain abstraction is a repositories, factories, and services. I would say memorize this. This is what output of your basically domain driven design is expected when you work this. So you must know. Now let's talk about the commands. As name suggests, it's a command in your like you give command to somebody, system gives command or kind of thing. Correct. So this is exactly that is the meaning of that. It represents a request to perform some action. As you can see, like this, do this kind of thing. Correct. So this is not yet happened. So this is a future. This is going to happen in the future once you submit the command. Correct. If it depends, now it's a synchronous, asynchronous, when it would happen. Basically correct, that all depend. Then it is a command, it can be rejected, right? It is not necessary always it would be executed. Correct. This is the command based on the system state. It may be rejected because you are retrying something, failed, but this is not failed, and that command would be rejected because it is already done. Correct. So that is what it means. So commands are command, it can be rejected, anybody can reject it in any bounded context, it can be rejected. Commands are usually having specific destinations or a recipient. Basically you can say like for example this command you are submitting for this specific microservices or specific JMS topic or JMS queue or something. Correct. So that can be anything. It can be a destination for, so command would be passed to any of this. So this is, if you remember from the Java or oops you are near command design pattern. Correct. So this is what exactly this follow here. So this is a command design pattern of the Java as well. So everything you submit the command and something would be executed here. Once command is executed, state of the system will change. So previously you have this system, this table was empty and not reserved, correct? And you submit or your server submit a reservation, say make a reservation, correct, in the system, and this table would be booked. So this is in each first state it is empty. In the next state, once this command is successful, correct, so then this book is, this table is reserved and cannot be used by. So system state was different here, now system state is different because this command is already executed here. So that is what here. So some example of the command here is prepare meal is command to like to a chef you can give it, make reservation to server you can give this, after your food is done, your meal is done, you can pay the bill. So system state changes. Any of the above command can be rejected, correct, based on this. It's like food is yet to be finished, you want to order something else, so this can be rejected basically, correct. Make a reservation, if there is no availability of the table, this is command can be rejected. Prepare a meal, because foods, ingredients of the foods are not available, so this particular meal cannot be prepared, so this kind of command can be rejected. So one of the component of this command for domain activities, this is an activities we can perform using a command. Now next the pattern in the this tactical tool is you need to find the events. Basically you need to find what are the command in the system, correct. So that is what it means here. When you design it, when you work with the domain expert, you need to find out what all are the commands in the system, or when they discuss it or whatever this tell you, you need to find it out what are the command in there while discussing all this stuff. That is where this is the critical. So this is what an outcome expected after discussing with the domain expert. Events, now you need to find out all the events happening in your system. Events is means already happened something, so like table reservation, make reservation. So a table is reserved, correct. So reserved is one event which is already happened, table reservation. Event happened in the domain and which happened in the past. So event always the past tense. Command is a request, we said, correct, which is going to happen in future, correct. Now event is past activity and cannot be rejected. Once it has happened, is happened, you can't reject it. But command can be rejected, event cannot be rejected. If event happened, you cannot say that this event had not happened. However, if you are not interested, you can choose to ignore that event, correct. That you can say like I'm not interested in this event, even if it is done, correct. So in my system I can say that basically, correct. Even events are usually broadcast to one or more destinations. So once the event happened, like for example let's say if you say meal is prepared, correct, for order id 111 prepared, so they can chef can send a message and that can go as an event to the this queue, and from this queue somebody can server can listen basically, correct. So that way like the chef says like food is already done and event can be passed here, and the server can be notified here, like, and he can listen this, correct. So this is a jms queue on which you publish. It can be another microservice as well. Command will cause a change in the domain and event records a change in the domain, correct. So this is an event which is a recording, we are recording this change has happened. Events are often result of a command. Generally this is what happens. Domain events will help you both model complexity and share what has occurred with your model with the system that need to know about it. The interested parties might be your own local bounded context or another remote bounded context. So here it is chef, it's a different bounded context. Here server, different bounded context. But this event is being passed from this domain to this domain. So that is what you need to understand here. So here what is the command? Prepare meal is a command here. So you need to understand what is the command here. And as a result of this, meal is prepared. So that is your event as a response is coming here. So you need to identify when you discuss with the domain expert, correct? Who is the domain expert here? Server, chef, all are the domain expert, correct? When you discuss with them, you need to note down in your documentation when you domain driven design, when you do this. So you need to able to find it out, what is my events, what are my commands, and etc, correct. So that is what events here. Now let's move to the next part is a queries here, correct. Queries, as name suggests, to get the information from the system. So you would be using, this is a request for the information from about the domain. what is this things is like my meal is already prepared or not. I can query the system and it can give me the response based on that, whatever the state of the or food can be still meal can be still in progress of preparation. But the command and event, you may or may not expect a response. Like command, you send a command, correct? You may not get a response in this case. Possibly acknowledgement is possible, but that is exactly not a response. This is an acknowledgement, correct? And event is already happened. There is also not as such in a response. Acknowledgement can be possible, but when you query something, you are expecting the response. The response may be empty, or you may not be able to get the response, but the idea is you are expecting response. So you need to find it out while discussing with the domain expert what all the queries are executed in the system, so you can model it and you can write code accordingly. So with query response are always given a specific destinations, like response comes to sent to the specific microservice, specific JMS topic, JMS queues, etc. Queries does not change the state of the domain, correct? So like you are asking for information which does not change the state of the domain. Only command change the state of the domain, and a state is recorded using the event, and queries give the state information about the current state of the domain. So it does not matter how many times you run the query, domain still give the same result, correct? So basically until and unless a state change, suppose in this restaurant there are 10 tables, correct? Let's assume it total 10 tables exist, and out of which this is reserved, 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 correct? When you query it, like how many tables are available or not reserved, correct? So it would give you the output as a 6 basically, correct? So until and unless new reservation happen or system change status changes, you keep querying it, always answer would be 6. But as soon as your system state changes, new table is reserved, your output of the query would change to this way, correct? So this is what you need to find it out after doing domain driven design discussion. For tactical part, what is your expected, you need to know what all are events happening, what all are commands in the system being executed, and you need to write code accordingly, correct? And what queries are generally being executed in the system. So that is what, as part of tactical design, you need to find it out, and accordingly you need to design your software basically. So some example of this list command is make a reservation is a command, add menu item to an order, that is a command, pay bill to your order, that is your command, prepare a meal, that is a command. But events, reservation is made, so it's already done reservation, correct? An item added to menu, so that is an event. A bill was paid, because this is a response to this command, correct? This everything is response to command. A meal was prepared. Now give me the detail about this reservation. This is query. Once reservation is made or system is changed, give all menu items in the order, tell me about amount of the bill, correct? Is my meal ready? So this is all queries basically, correct? This is you do this. When you design a reactive system, this is another basically way you design your software, which is another popular way to design the system. Generally actor frameworks are used to design this reactive system, but here just for your understanding, just simplicity I want to give you, like reservation context is your bounded context, you do your reservation. Now in this, what is the command? Make a reservation. So this command goes to reservation context, correct? You want to make a reservation. Now event is what, after the like this event is generated, reservation is made. So while discussing with the reservation with the server, or basically in the restaurant, he can explain you what command he fires, like to make a reservation and kind of thing, correct? He run this query, give me my reservation information, or what reservation, how many tables are available still. So these kind of queries can be executed, and these events are happen once this command is executed. So that is what in the reactive system you can decide it. So in reactive system message driven approach, there these all three commands, event, query are messages. Basically these are messages. This can be coded as a messages in the event driven architecture, and those are asynchronously executed. These all three basically form the API of a bounded context or microservices. So this is reservation I would create as a microservice, one microservice, because this is my bounded context. It has its own ubiquitous language. Like ubiquitous language means what? It says ubiquitous language means reservation is one. Here another order is a part of ubiquitous language. Here you can say bill is a amount, or you can say amount is a uh, it may not be. This is payment context, or you can say this is basically order, reservations, customer. This all, it's a language or ubiquitous language which you would be using in the reservation context. So these are all three objects, domain objects, sorry, domain activities which are happening in a domain, and you should be able to get this detail while discussing with the domain expert. What are my commands, events, and queries? So that's all about this session. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this session. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe it. Thank you. I'm stopping now.